Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about the newest in tank developments, or one of the newest in tank developments, that is the T-14 Armata. And I'm going to touch on what this means for the future of tank development, and what it means for tank development now, and how NATO, or how I think NATO and the US are going to react to this, because there will be a reaction. But first, I would like to say a lot of work goes into these sort of longer videos, like the videos I make that surpass 5 minutes. A lot of work goes into these. And so, a like or subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Now, onto the video. Now, before we talk about the reaction and what this is going to cause and do, we need to touch on why Russia may need something like this. You know, we're moving towards peace. We're in the most peaceful time in pretty much in the world's history, right? And so we need to talk about why a country like Russia may need something like this. Now, the obvious reason is self-defense. The T-14 has great mobility and a very good gun. And it also has respectable armor. So it is perfectly suited for fighting in Russia. Now, let's talk about some main differences. The United States and its allies, with the notable exception of Japan, have sort of shied away from autoloaders. And that's because that a tank requires a surprising amount of maintenance. I remember hearing that for every hour it's in the field, it's like 3 hours of maintenance, or maybe it's 3 to 1, or something like that. And so the less people you have in the tank, the longer the maintenance time is. And that's assuming that everyone's pulling their weight, no one's injured. If one person gets injured in a tank, which can easily happen, even if you're not in combat, you can easily be injured by the tank itself. In fact, there was one German tanker who got his leg a little too close to the turret drive, and it just snapped it in half. Needless to say, he could not do any maintenance on the tank that day. And so there were 3 other crew members. Now, if that happened to the crew member of a T-14 or maybe a Type 10, then that would be only 2 people maintaining the tank. Now, tanks are surprisingly hard to maintain. There are a lot of moving parts, and especially if you're in an adverse environment like a muddy forest or a desert or the tundra even, stuff can freeze up there really easily, or mud can freeze up, then that is a lot of work you have to do. Now, let's talk about survivability. The T-14 is going to be much more survivable than than old Russian tanks. Now, if you look at the T-90 or the T-72B3M, or I'm going to refer to it as the T-72B4 from now on, as it is sometimes referred to, then you'll see there's nothing separating the crew from the ammunition. Now, from what I know, the T-14 uses the same gun, and so pretty much the same autoloader layout, but the main difference is the crew here is stored in a box that completely separates them from any blowout. And so this can keep the crew much safer from any fires, and even just heat from the fire. Now, survivability-wise, this is really good. This is a step forward for Russian tanks. And here's how I think NATO is going to react to it, or here's how I know they're reacting right now. So currently, NATO is designing, or not really NATO, but sort of the main states of the EU, or not really the main states of the EU after Brexit, the main states of Europe are developing the EMBT. France, Germany, and Britain are sort of, from what I know, working off the Leclerc and Leopards to design the EMBT. This is going to be an improved main battle tank designed completely for fighting in Europe. And This is pretty much a direct response to the T-14 because NATO and just Europe in general needs to be able to defend against these. Now, how I think the US is going to react, I think we're going to start to develop anti-tank missiles that can circumvent the T-14's active protection system and that can circumvent its armor. And I think we're going to start to even improve on the M1A3. Now, this is just what I think will happen. It is by no means what is going to happen or what is happening. So take me with a little grain of salt. But that's pretty much it for today. Sorry if I rambled. And hey, you made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, a like and subscribe are greatly appreciated. Bye. Also, be sure to join my Discord. The link is in the description and should be on my channel page. And my goal is to get to 50 subscribers by June. So, once again, a subscribe would be greatly appreciated.